Hello, and welcome to Epilagers, a book club for fiction and nerd-like reading created to enhance adulthood, brought to you by two emerging adults. Each month, we try out a new book in a two-part series so that you may read along with us. In this week's prologue, Shay and I will be discussing the first 9-ish chapters of The Maze Runner by James Dashner. Also remember that these opinions are our own, but you are invited to join the discussion on our Twitter and Instagram pages at EpilagersPod. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoy, but without further ado, let's get started. Hello, dear listeners. Sorry for this brief interruption in the first episode, but I did want to just give you a heads up that the first section of our episode will have some poor audio quality. Shay and I were just so excited that we forgot to mic check prior to cracking open our beers. Once we get through that part and we start talking about the Maze Runner itself, the audio quality does get better. Please push through. Thanks for listening.
All right, Jay, welcome to 2019.
Thank you, Shay. I'm happy to be here.
What are you drinking to?
So this week, I'll drink to the new year. I had a pretty good New Year's Eve.
Nice.
Nothing crazy. We're going to get more lit on this podcast than we did on the day itself.
That's adulthood right there.
This evening, I am drinking Platform Beer Company, a kettle sour series called Life Itself.
Damn.
And, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's appropriate. It's a goes with lime, meringue, and graham.
I still don't know how I feel about the fact that there's meringue in it. That's a
I
weird
don't know.
flavor to claim on a beer. Even a sour.
Yeah, I don't know. So first sips. Oh. Lime.
Meringue?
No. Just a weird diluted lime. Yeah, I'm not getting graham or meringue from it. Sorry,
Graham
Platform.
Being
Graham, I'm assuming graham cracker.
like, I mean, it can't be graham cracker.
Why not?
Oh my God, yes it is. That is supposed to taste like key lime pie. It has a graham cracker crust, key
Oh
lime,
my God.
and meringue on the top.
Mind blown.
So it doesn't taste like a nice slice of key lime pie.
If I think key lime pie while I drink it, maybe a little bit. I'm lying.
And your facial expression said no.
All right, what are you drinking to this evening?
I am drinking to celebrate the new year and also drinking in mourning that I go back to the next semester next week.
And Shay has to go back to her real life.
Indeed. Well, I'm drinking a Sam Adams Winter Lager. It's a limited
good
release.
staple.
It says it's a festive bock beer, which I've never heard of in my life.
Bocks are supposed to be pretty chocolatey, I think. Like dark chocolatey, I think.
I
could be very wrong.
This has orange peel, cinnamon, and ginger.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Ooh, a bottle, yes.
It's a bottle. Also, it was the only thing in my fridge.
Oh, yes. Get that ASMR.
Oh, that was a good one.
All right. This week, what am I drinking to forget? I feel like I'm doing all right so far this winter break.
Yeah, it's been a nice break.
Mm-hmm.
Shorter than the ones that we had in undergrad. But I'm kind of
We don't
okay
have
with
any, yeah, true. Very, well, mine still goes till the 22nd, I believe. So I still have a little bit more time off.
Wow.
But we haven't had any snow here. We did not have a white Christmas. We did not have a white New Year's. Like, it's been pretty rainy and disgusting. So I'm drinking to forget all the rain, I guess.
Yeah, no, it rained a lot here too. It rained all day on New Year's. We did not have any snow for Christmas. I think it might have flurried, but there's no snow. I moved to Michigan. People said there'd be snow. It was a fucking lie.
God damn them for your false expectations.
Where is the snow? Up next, I regret saying that.
And tomorrow, blizzard warning. All right, what's that beer taste like? Give me the mouthfeel.
Well, I've had it before, and I don't really like it, which is surprising because I love Sam Adams. I love all of their Sam Adams. I don't know what it is about this one.
Maybe you just don't like Box?
Maybe. It's not spicy enough. For a winter lager, it's not spicy enough.
Oh yeah, you always expect like a lot of cinnamon, nutmeg.
I want to get punched in the mouth with Christmas.
And that's not what happened.
That's not what happens.
God damn it, Sam.
Let me down.
Well, I guess since I haven't read The Maze Runner, I'll go ahead and do my thoughts before reading, as you instructed me to do.
Yes, I just want to know what your overall thoughts or predictions about the book are going to be, and then we can start off and see how far off you were.
Sounds good. As a little bit of background, I definitely have never read the book before. I do recall seeing the movie, but probably when it first came out, which I have no idea how long it's been since then. And
A couple years.
Yeah, there's a good chance that I fell asleep during it as well, because I do not recall it in the least.
Let me guess one of your predictions.
Okay.
This book is about a maze.
So, yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think that, no. I had no idea there was a maze. What? But in reality, I have a feeling that this maze isn't going to be real.
Okay.
I'm thinking along the lines of Westworld, where it's like a simulation that the body's not in, but the mind is.
Ooh.
Have you ever seen Westworld?
I've seen a couple episodes of the first season. I really like it. I just never sit down and watch TV.
Yeah, no, and it's a great season, but like I think the gist is that like their bodies aren't in the dangerous scenario, just their minds are, and like you can get reset as many and as times as you need or want.
Okay.
So I think that's basically what's going to go on in that. I think that there is like a government body or researchers or something that need to solve a problem.
Okay.
And so they're using these teenage kids or young adults. I don't know quite how old they are yet, but they're going to use them to figure out this issue.
Right.
And see, it's like probably like a world issue
Okay.
or a psychological issue or economical, sociological kind of thing where they're going to be like rats in a maze.
Okay. But let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's always kids?
I don't know. I'm just assuming it's because, you know, this is a young adult novel, so you need to be able to relate to the people. But why do you always use kids? Because their ability to learn is a lot more their ability to learn is much more than adults that are, you know, stagnant.
Right.
Right?
So
That
it's like
their
a learning
minds and bodies are
plasticity.
still, their minds and bodies are still developing.
And perhaps they're more susceptible to a figure in authority.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, but they would be able to be controlled a lot easier than, you know, adults. Yeah.
Right. You can intimidate them a little bit more easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a thought.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm picturing this maze to be like the fourth Harry Potter book. And that it's just going to be like these hedges and the kids are going to be in the center.
Okay.
So it's going to be like the opposite of Harry Potter where they're all hanging out in the center and they need to try to get out.
Okay.
And it's going to be like hedges that are constantly changing, or there's obstacles and puzzles and riddles and stuff that they're going to have to try to solve.
Okay. All right, cool.
I don't think by the end of the book, I don't think they're going to solve the maze.
Ooh, interesting prediction. And I'm going to write that down.
I don't think it's not that it's not solvable.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense? I think
Sure.
I have way too many knots in that sentence.
Interesting. Okay.
But I think those were all my pre-reading thoughts for the most part.
Okay.
Did you have any
All right,
other
well-
follow-up questions?
Nope. Let's get into it. I want to hear like what you started discovering as you were reading.
Yeah. So I think I stopped on chapter 9.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm on chapter 5, like a couple pages into chapter 5, and I fell asleep.
Chapter 9 or chapter 8 ends with the girl coming up the elevator, right? So I've learned that so far it's all teenage boys, you know, like young teen to like young adult, not old enough as us, but like probably just before drinking age, I think.
Sure.
And it's all boys, no girls. So I predicted reading. I knew. I don't know if it was because of my intuition. I'm so intelligent, or because, and this is a young adult novel, or because I watched the movie that I knew it was going to be a girl coming up. I knew it.
Yeah. Why do you think it's all boys?
Because in research, you always sample male populations because of the hormones in women.
Oh, that's really interesting that you say that, because there is actually a very large movement away from doing that at this point.
Yeah.
So now if you, let's say you're doing a like mouse or rat study and you're testing like learning or fear response, whatever you're testing with your mice or rats,
mm-hmm.
you actually have to, or you should, to be in good practice, report on the sex of the animals.
Yeah.
And a lot of studies are including male and female studies and seeing if there are differences between them, because it turns out a lot of the biological phenomenon that we have studied in the past have been exclusive to males.
Well, right.
So
yeah.
it doesn't behoove us to
only
use boys. So they are now testing more often. They're more often making a note of the sex of the animal.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. And I mean, like in human research, which is what I pretty much study, that
Mm-hmm.
you either do all one sex as
Mm-hmm.
like your pilot, like this is beta, that
Sure.
you do one sex just to see what's going to happen. But when you do it in the future, they want you to have as close to 50-50 representation as humanly possible. Because if
Mhm.
you only have like 3 women to every 10 men in the research, like they're going to throw it away. They don't like it.
Absolutely, because it's not biologically representative of the population at that point.
Right. And especially in exercise. I mean, there's so much different between men and women in my realm that we have to do 50-50 or
Absolutely.
completely sequester the sexes and do it separately. Oh, man. Okay. So in that first section of the book, you learn that Thomas is our main character. He's around 16 years old.
Uh-huh.
He has very limited memories, but for some reason he can still speak English. And there's probably about, I think they said 25 to like 50 boys in the glade, or like the center of my maze.
Yeah.
They've pretty much built a civilization. There's farming, there's housing, there's safe places. You learn about the baddies a little bit, in that we get a little hint of the maze when Alfie takes Thomas around and shows him the shtick and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the first things that really fucking pissed me off is, so these kids, they're,
I know what it's gonna be.
Because
it's so frustrating.
One of the most infuriating things is that these kids, like, the memory wipe is ridiculous. I don't understand. There's selective things that they can and cannot wipe, which doesn't make sense in research.
Sure.
They remember English, but for some reason develop these dumb ass words for swear words. What the fuck? And we learned clunk is poop. Like, you say poop in the book. So I assumed it was because it's a young adult novel. He doesn't want to swear, but he literally says poop in the text.
Yes.
So it's not because he's not trying to not swear. I'm slamming my fist on my desk because
I know,
clunk is so
it.
fucking stupid. You're a clunkhead. Just say shithead. What is wrong with you?
So it's definitely like they're very obvious stand-ins as well. So like shuck is very obviously the stand-in for fuck.
Yeah.
And if you like go through and every time you read shuck, you just like think fuck to yourself, it's so much funnier.
Yes.
This wasn't the thing that I thought you were going to be frustrated about. What I personally get frustrated about is like from Thomas's perspective that the other kids are so bad at describing what's going on and easing him into this transition.
Well, yeah. And like, I mean, I get it. They're teenage boys. They don't know how to like take it easy. They're just like, oh yeah, there's these fucking scary things that bite you and you're in extreme amount of pain and you hear this kid screaming in the background. So like, I thought it was a good like writing choice to like have these kids be so terrible at describing what's going on. But they've had at least 25 green beans, right? Like if there's 25 to 50
how did
people,
they start?
Right. You've had practice for 25 green beans now. How are you still so bad at it?
Right. And I think too, even though it's really frustrating, I think it's a good writing choice in terms of it gives you a ton of information that you don't understand at all.
Yeah.
So you get a bunch of words, you get a bunch of names, you hear like the maze and you hear grievers and you hear all these scary words. They mean nothing to Thomas. They also mean nothing to you.
Right.
So I want to jump back to your opinions on the language. I didn't realize it would frustrate you so much, which is funny because I wrote down that I wanted to talk about it and get your opinion on why perhaps these kids would create their own language.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was like the first kid that showed up, like, didn't feel comfortable swearing, but I just don't get how, like, it's obvious that they don't forget the words. They've just decided to create their own language, which, does anyone decide that? Who makes conscious decisions to make new words for things?
To make up new words. Yeah, I think that they probably all have the memory of swearing, and they can all use those words. I think it's like a community thing. It's something that separates them from newcomers so that they can have a tight-knit society. I think it's them trying to kind of like take control of their situation.
Right, to create like a brotherhood.
Strengthen their bond. Right, exactly. It's just like stupid words that we would have in the fraternity, like purpling. Yeah. That's not a real word. We could just say fucking a pledge.
But we don't.
But it is really frustrating. And I think it's interesting that they keep some words, I'm guessing. So, like, who gave them the word grievers for, like, these things that you can be stung by? Because I don't remember how much farther in the book they bring in what the grievers are and what they look like. And there's, like, the mechanical beetle that seems to be watching them. They have words for all of that. So, like, let's say we have the first group of kids thrown into this situation.
Do you think it was just one, or do you think it was a group?
Right. How do we know?
Yeah.
You know, like, do you think that these kids stay here forever? Do you think that they, like, grow up and die? Do they get removed at some point? Like, are the first 50, are any of them originals? Right. And if not, what happens to them?
Yeah, I mean, like, we have no idea if any of them are original yet. I don't know anyway.
Right. Then we don't know yet. So, if you were in the same situation, you've shown up in this box and all you can remember is that your name is Jay. And there are people who are terrible at describing the situation to you.
And tell you to shut up all the time. Like you're trying to ask questions and tell you to shut the fuck up.
How do you think you would react?
I mean, knowing my personality, I don't think I'd be able to handle it because I would probably shake the shit out of Alfie for being like, no questions until the end.
Right. I feel like you would be in jail immediately.
Right. Yeah. But you're not helping. Like, you see people running out of the maze, just fucking whipped. God, I don't know what I would do, honestly. That would be fucking scary. He goes, at one point in time in the book, he just goes and sits down by a tree and he's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
I can't. I just can't imagine.
I feel like that's a very normal reaction.
And it's so funny because I think either the boys who are there compartmentalize it so much that they're able to just like completely accept their situation. And who knows, you know, like who knows what it would be like to just like wake up in a simulated hellscape. It's a hellscape. You're trapped in this giant maze. You have a small portion of space. He even says like how claustrophobic he feels when the walls close at night. And you're just supposed to not ask questions. Like, I wouldn't trust anyone.
This is your life
I would
now.
be convinced that they were gonna like sacrifice me and eat me. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like I would not be as trustworthy. And like obviously he trusts like the most dim-witted kid that there is. I can't even remember his name.
I know. Oh, sweet Chuck.
And like that makes the most sense. Like all the other kids are so standoffish and like so acting superior that really his only option is Chuck.
Yep.
So
on that same thread then, how do you feel about some of the characters so far? Like, how do you feel about Thomas and Newt and Alfie? Definitely how you feel about Gally.
Man, there are so many names. I might need help remembering which one's which. But like Thomas is he's chill. Like, I mean, I definitely think I can follow his train of thought. He seems very down to earth. He seems very real. Like he's reacting how I would probably react in situations. And I mean, ask questions. There's no reason that you shouldn't. Like, I don't understand why everyone's being so rude to him. Clunk is just, or not Clunk, that's Poop. Chuck is so, he's just so cute, like, and corny.
I know.
And it's so funny, like, when you first meet him, he, like, what's the term for, like, when they call someone a negative term?
A shank, I think.
A shank, yeah. And I was like, that's a prison term. Like, where are we?
We're not stabbing anyone.
Yeah, and he's like, ... shank.
You're gonna get some dinner later. Shank.
Trying so hard to get into it.
He's
so cute. Alfie's the one that shows him around the maze and is trying to describe him things. And like I liked Alfie's take in that he just wanted to like kind of throw Thomas into it and like, okay, this is what we're dealing with. Get ready.
You need to suit up right now.
Yeah. I like the one that Thomas is internally like, I could take him. Which one is that?
Is that
Gally?
The bully?
Yeah, the bully.
Thinks he knows him.
Yeah.
That's Gally.
Yeah, that's the one that like jogs his memory.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, I could fucking take him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's really kind of, I don't really have too many opinions on the characters so far, but I mean, Chuck's pretty cute. I hope he sticks around for a while.
Chuck's adorable.
I imagine that, I don't think Chuck's gonna die first, but I definitely think one of the boys is going to die really soon so that Thomas, like, because like we're gonna see the real thing, what's going on, and Thomas will get to see what's really going on.
Death in the Glade.
This is a tough one. I'm bad at predictions.
I think it would be really funny for you to describe a griever. What you think.
Oh, what I pictured it as?
Yeah, like when you first heard it and then they sting you, what do you think they are?
What's that movie or on Hulu where it's like, it's not the Boogeyman, but it's one of the other scary movies. So it's like this big black character with like a pointed head and kind of like Alien, you know, like that monster. No, do you know? Where he doesn't have eyes. Okay, I'm going to start over. So, yeah, similar to Alien, like Alien versus Predator, where it doesn't have eyes and it just has this big mouth. And then on its hands, it has claws. And on the claws, it has the poison. So, like, it doesn't, like, bite the kids. But I have a feeling, I'm not imagining, like, a scorpion kind of thing where it buzzes and stings them. I'm imagining that they, like, get swiped with their claws and the poison hurts them.
How big do you think they are?
Oh. I don't know if I thought about that, but I'm assuming larger. Yeah, I'm assuming larger than person. Like all gangly-like.
All gangly-like?
All arms and legs. Why do you ask? Am I totally wrong?
No, you're not completely wrong. You're wrong about some of it.
So is it more like a scorpion?
Am I supposed to spoil it for you? Or
well, I don't know. I guess not.
No.
Very non-committal answer.
We'll leave it where it is.
Yeah. But there has to be other things in the maze. It can't just be these grievers. Like maybe they just haven't made it far enough into the maze to like get the rest of it.
Right. Or maybe the grievers are just like the point of contact that they can't get past. Like maybe there's things that are worse, that are deeper in the maze, you know?
That's what I'm imagining.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely something worse.
We don't know. And also, so like these maze runners in general, These like
the runners, yeah.
I think the four, three.
Yeah,
or four,
four, because there's 4 doors.
4. 4 boys who run out into the maze and do whatever they're doing. I guess
Running.
anything, running. How do you think they get that job? Do you want that job?
I don't think I would want that job because I have absolutely no cardio and I hate running.
It sounds like the worst run of your life. Like, do they come back right before the doors
close? Yeah,
so, like,
they have
start in
an
the
X
morning?
amount of time. Yeah, they're literally running for however long the sun is up.
That sounds like the worst cardio of my life.
Yeah, no thanks. And another thing that makes me think that it's a sim is that there's no sun. Like, it's just like an overhead light. Like, literally like
lit.
they are rats.
It's just lit.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing I was going to talk about, his selective memory that he keeps getting like jogged, like something keeps like triggering a memory. It still reiterates to me that it's going to be a simulation that someone's controlling, and that, you know, he's getting a little too close to his past time through the sim. He has to be one of the ones that went through already, died, and is back in it again. And so they can wipe all the kids' minds, so every time the kid comes back up, he's a new person every time.
That is a really interesting theory.
Yeah.
So he has perhaps run this simulation before and
died.
is put back in.
Yeah. And so the way they prevent the kids
Respawn.
from respawn. The way they prevent the kids from like reminding him that he was already there is that they can control everyone's memories and be like, okay, remove Thomas. All right, let's send Thomas back up the elevator in 3, 2.
So if it's a simulation, why not send him up as a different kid every time?
Maybe. Well, that's what I'm thinking.
They
Like,
give him a name.
Yeah, they give him a name.
Like,
Every
your
time.
name is Thomas now.
Yep. I agree.
Hi, Andrew. Now you're Thomas.
Uh-huh.
And what would be the benefit though of using someone who's failed the simulation before and making them do it again?
Well,
just like
yeah.
cost analysis of swiping children off the street.
Maybe the triggering of the time before gives him a little bit of a step up in that maybe he'll be able to solve it the second time round.
Oh, so maybe like how many times does it take to get through?
Oh, yes.
How many respawns until you can make it through the maze?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, do the other participants get the benefit of the maze runners? So like essentially, is it the same 4 people running out every time? Because like you'd have to like fucking Chuck isn't going to be able to run. He got winded running to the edge of the edge of the glade.
Fucking Chuck.
So like you're not sending him out to go out there, you know? Like,
well, right. Yeah, I guess like that's
so
why
if the maze runners make it out, does everyone get out?
Ooh, yeah. So if one person solves it, does everyone win? And we don't know. We don't know the point. And like none of the kids know the point. So like if everyone knew that the point was to beat this maze, would they all put forth more effort into doing it? Or because they've seen so many people die and become in pain that it's become like they'd much rather just kind of survive than try to solve.
Sure.
Well, this girl's going to change things. So she comes up the elevator. She's unconscious. But Thomas comes, like, so we meet Thomas. He's unconscious and waking up inside the elevator.
Yeah.
My scientific side of me estimated that they gave the girl too much coma medication and she was out for too long. So she made it all the way up the elevator.
And also,
unconscious.
She's a female.
Yeah.
She has a different fat percentage. So they probably did overdose her because they're used to giving this injection to boys.
Yeah, exactly.
They gave her too much that she can't get it out of herself.
Yeah, so it takes her way too long to become conscious again, which is why they have to pull her out.
Right.
So I don't think she's dead. Like she's definitely going to be a character. And she brings a note that says she's like, this is the last one, meaning this is the last newbie. She's the last green bean. So
what do you think about that?
I don't know. The boys must have solved something in order to make it to the next stage. The next stage is adding a woman to the mix and seeing what's going to happen. So like,
but so like the fact that she's female is her purpose.
Yes. Yep. And she's going to be the last one to see how the boys interact with her of this stage. So that, again, I don't think they're going to have to solve the maze. They've completed a step, and they've been gifted with a female, which is such a terrible idea. You have a glade of 25 to 50 young teenage boys, and you just throw in a fucking girl? Are you nuts?
A single female? Like, I'm sorry, but that would not go
You
well
are nuts. And all, like,
her.
the author describes all the oogling boys.
Right? And she's like an older girl, so you know she looks like a woman.
She got tits. What I just like how, and also how do the boys know? They've only been like living with boys. How do they know even women still exist? Like, how did they instantly just get that memory back?
Right.
That female than another sex exists?
I don't know, because they all have memory of parents. So if they have a traditional heterosexual family, they would know that they had a mom and a dad. Yeah. And he does use the words mom and dad.
Oh, he does.
They know that there's female.
Okay.
That the female population exists, perhaps not in whatever universe takes place outside of the glade. If that's the case, then why like hold on to the female this long? And like, so if you think they've unlocked some portion, they're moving on to the second phase. What happens if they like run out of time and they don't get it? Do they like take her back and they start over at square one? They're like, you don't get a lady anymore.
Memories wiped. Take 2.
Take 2. Everyone restarts.
No, well, and I don't even know what step they could have possibly completed in the time that Thomas was there.
Right.
So, like, in the time, so if we assume that they were on a schedule, one boy a month, and then Thomas comes on the first day of the next month, and then the girl arrives the very next day, something happened that Thomas triggered that caused them to go either to the next step or to prompt them to give them the female. That's why I think this is Thomas's second time round. What if he did solve the maze? He was a runner because he has all these memories of needing to be a runner and wanting to be a runner, and so he's the one that triggers the next stage.
Right. Maybe he's always the runner. Maybe he's 100 times been the runner.
Yeah. And he finally figured it out. He gets respawned, and then the next stage starts the very next day with the girl. But so why would they not allow all the boys to remember that someone beat the maze?
I don't know. Another wrench. Perhaps Thomas is not the same as the other boys. Perhaps he is a trigger. He could be added to fuck things up in the glade.
Yeah.
You're like, we can pretty much assume that he's, like, we'll say neutral good.
Yeah.
But we don't know, like, what his purpose is. You know, he
doesn't
is
know.
the second to last person.
Yeah.
There's a possibility that the two of them being added that close together and being, like, a boy followed by a girl could be a trigger of some kind or a planned experimental manipulation of some kind.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and I think they're pretty close to the same age, right? He's between, like, he's an older teen, younger adult, because he's just, like, Chuck describes him as a little bit taller, having a little bit more, like, past pubescent features. Sure. And the girl is probably has tits, so she's around the same age. And doesn't he describe that you didn't read that far yet, but I'm pretty sure he describes like a jogged memory thinking that he recognizes her.
Yeah. So, and like that's another interesting thing, that several people, but not all of the people, seem to have memories of each other. So like he and Gally have some kind of past beef. Something. That they like remember, and he kind of remembers her. Do you think that there is a life that they all had outside of the simulation? Like, did they just grab one high school?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, maybe they were all went to the same high school, and that's why Gally was the bully and Thomas was the jock, and they just, like, fucking hated each other, and they were fighting over the girl.
Cross-country team.
Yeah, they were both fighting over this girl.
Although, I don't think they would be fighting over this girl, seeing as how ugly Gally is described.
That could be Thomas's hate, though.
That's true. It
just like
like
J.K. Rowling describing the Dursleys as her mortal enemy.
I was gonna say, like a Harry Potter description of another person based solely on your feelings about them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, to conclude about the girl, she's going to be significant in either she holds a key to something that they've unlocked, and she triggers the next step. I have no idea what that next step is, though. So, like, maybe I'm kind of redacting my statement in that the maze doesn't get solved. Maybe Thomas did solve the maze, and but, like, I don't know. I just can't quite think of, like, what the possible end game is.
Maybe it's level 2. Maybe it's like a video game, and level 1, like, they got the checkpoint or like the safety point of level 1, which could be like the functionality of the glade even. Like,
oh yeah.
Do you like when you've been playing Minecraft for a couple Minecraft days and you like have easy access to food and you have the tools that you need.
You've gathered up all your chickens,
supplies. Like you're not gonna keep mining then. Like you're gonna do something else.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a checkpoint. Like they've beat level 1. Now things are going to step up to level 2. And that could, like, maybe that means more monsters. Maybe that means the doors open for a brief period of time.
What if they don't
like,
close at night anymore? And that's level 2.
What if they don't close?
Oh, that would be scary. That's some good shit. I didn't think about that. But yeah, that's definitely level 2.
Yeah, level 2 would be, like,
scary.
Extra monsters.
That's Minecraft
like,
hardcore.
Boss battle. Minecraft hardcore. You get 1 life.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that is the point of the woman. If this is a totally different scenario, what if the boys, are sucking so bad at creating their own society
that they throw in a lady?
That they throw in a woman to see what happens.
They're like, oh God, could you clean this up?
Yeah. Yeah, like if the whole point of the maze was not to solve the maze, but to create a new society, to see how the boys would rebuild. So you've stripped them of everything. You've given them the basics to live. How do they create structure?
Right.
And they're not doing it well, so they throw in a woman.
It could be a civilization simulation where you're putting them in a foreign environment that they don't understand. It's possibly hostile. We don't really know if it's hostile. If no one knows what happens in the maze, like, we don't know what the grievers are. We don't know how aggressive they are, whether they're like neutral mobs that only attack if you attack them.
Yeah.
What if it's like an exploration simulation? So like, let's say the Earth is dying and they want to send people to an alien planet and they need to find the best civilization makers and they want them to be young because they've got to be like of reproductive age.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, trying to create a new civilization, they need to figure out who would best be suited.
Right. And
teaching the kids the basics on how to do it, and then figuring out who to send. Yeah, that makes sense too. Right. I like that idea.
And they don't know, maybe they do know how aggressive this other planet is. Like, it could be a Pandora situation where everything's like bigger and badder and scarier. So they know that they need
Australia.
Yeah, it's Australia. It's space Australia. So they need to know who can deal with that, because it's the only other planet with, we'll say, oxygen, or more importantly, water.
These are all, I like all of these. So all in all, in conclusion, I have no fucking clue what's going to happen, but I like all of these ideas.
I can't wait. I can't wait for you to like read ahead and have your predictions validated and disproven.
Yeah. I'm excited too. Oh, man. Well, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't. I have really enjoyed our predictions and where the conversation has gone so far. I can't wait for you to read more.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm excited to read the rest of it. I definitely think I'm going to be able to hammer this out one pretty quickly. I did want to mention that I did try listening to this one, this audiobook, and the what do you call them? The person who reads it?
Oh my God, I don't know.
What do you call them?
I don't know.
But whoever it is,
not the narrator.
Yeah. No, maybe it is a narrator. It's narrated by, is absolutely god awful terrible.
Oh no, that really ruins it.
He is so bad. I know, and that's why I was like reading. I listened to the first 3 or 4 chapters, I think, and I was like really worried because that's when the whole language thing starts, and that's like the very beginning of the book.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh no, like this book's gonna be bad. Like it was the way he read it was really like choppy and like what's the word for like young, but like the way he was reading it was really amateur,
Juvenile?
really choppy. Like it wasn't my taste. And whenever he started bringing up the clunk and the shank, and I was like, oh Jesus H Christ. So I switched to reading, and it reads so much nicer than it does to listen to.
Well,
so
heads
that's
up,
my little 2 cents.
don't pick up the audiobook.
I do like that he puts on little voices. So like when Chuck talks, he's like, you know, a little bit like boyish, and then when Alfie talks, he's Irish, I guess.
Oh,
and,
what the fuck?
Know, I know. He like gives them like different languages, not languages, accents. It's really cute, and it helped when you're listening to it, but like the way it must be a combination of the way it's written and the way he was reading it just did not seem to mesh.
Like, weren't cohesive.
No. Yeah, and so it like made me feel like the book was way younger than it is. Like I was like teen, and then when I started reading it, it felt a little bit more mature. It felt a little bit more younger adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, interesting note.
Yeah, I haven't listened to too many audiobooks.
I never have.
So it's really interesting to me that I'm finding out what I like and what I don't like in the style of a narrator. I'm actually probably going to try to return this audiobook because there's no way I can listen to it. You can't do it. I was listening to it with my boyfriend too because we were on a car trip in the car.
Yeah.
LOL. Where else would we be?
LOL.
And he's like, can we listen to this another time? Like, holy shit, this is awful.
Stop? Oh, that's bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm super excited to finish reading, and I hope I'm right. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at EpilagersPod, EPILAGERSPOD. And we hope that you'll read along with us and join us next time on our follow-up episode of The Maze Runner.
And remember, the best way to survive the tragic dystopia of adulthood is with a book in one hand
and a beer in the other. Talk to you soon on Epilagers.
See you later.